Hey Kim, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you, Jeanne?
I'm well, thanks.
Nice
It's
to
been a
see you.
while.
It has been a long time. It has been.
Our last show was from around New Year's, and we had made some New Year's resolutions. How's that going for you, Kim?
I made that resolution because I knew it was going to be a big, big challenge for me. So here's how it's going.
Okay, wait. Share what your resolution was, because I'm sure people
My
have forgotten.
resolution was to start working on weight-bearing exercises and going to the gym because I hate to go to the gym. So I knew that was going to be a big challenge for me. You have to pick something that's hard. And I don't like to go to the gym that Nelson goes to, and we used to go together. And it's kind of a guy's gym. It's dirty, it smells, and it's not fun. So I didn't follow through on my resolution, but just this past month I joined Planet Fitness. My daughter really pushed me, and she said, "Mom, they have hydro massage chairs." So now I've been going for a month, so I can sit in that chair for 10 minutes at the end of my workout. It's so worth it.
Really?
It is.
Hydrotherapy. Okay, good to know.
Hydro massage chairs. It's
Wow.
wonderful.
Okay, good to know. Well,
I'm back at it. How about you? How's your resolution going?
Well, mine was to continue losing weight, and I think I'm, slowly, me and the tortoise, we're on the race together.
Yeah.
Um, so I each month I see a little bit changes, and not so much in the scale, but in my body. What I
Yeah.
call non-scale victories. So
Mhm.
I'm still working on it. So I'm still
Mhm.
continuing my New Year's resolution.
Well,
So
you look great. You look great. You've made some strides. I can tell.
well, thank you. Well, what's
Yeah.
going on at Plant Pure Nation?
Plant Pure Nation. Lots of things are going on, but we've been really working on Healing America. Nelson's been working on Healing America, and he should probably speak to most of that because I often tell a different story than he does.
Okay.
But he's been traveling, and we've been doing a little traveling together since last fall, which is when I got a chance to meet you. And we finished up the Healing America tour in Pennsylvania in June. And all along the way, we've been filming and we have projects that are going on. And we're filming those projects, and hopefully, we'll be able to replicate everything we've done to one city and have a pilot program going on. So that's exciting. I've been more involved in Plant Pure Health and Weight Loss, which is we're now going to convert that into an online digital program that you can purchase. It's 5 hours of education, learning about what is the standard American diet, what's the science behind a
Awesome.
plant-based diet, what is a plant-based diet, how to make the transition, some of the basics, cooking, shopping, all of that. So we've been really going at that, and we're hoping to make that available to people in about 4 to 8 weeks.
Wow.
So
That'll be
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. And
That'll
what
be
have you been
awesome.
working on at Starch Queens and
Oh, we've continued to, got a good group of people going,
mhm,
and it's just been awesome. I mean, we've kind of gotten a good curriculum down that we go through, and I research. I'm a bit big about education and educating people on this lifestyle and all the issues that come with this, this lifestyle
mhm,
that you have to learn. You have to educate yourself.
mhm.
And I just love Nancy. She does these calling driving with Nancy in the morning, and she puts her cell phone up. So whatever the educational topic is, like for example, it might have been microbe versus macronutrients, and then she'll, as she's driving to work, she's talking to you, and she has great educate. She focuses on the theme, and it's like she gets right into your head. She's just awesome. So
That's a gift. That's a gift to
it,
be able
it is.
to do that. And I've actually seen a couple of hers, and it's kind of fun to watch.
She is so much fun. She's fun to be with, and she just it's like like us, like we sit here and have this conversation, and it's like
Mhm.
you're sitting here with your best friend,
Yep.
and so she's like your coach and health guru.
You
So
have to forget that, there's a lot of people watching and just kind of get into the conversation with each other, which is what you and I do. But she's
right,
really good at it. And
she's very good. She's amazing. And then
yeah.
we do Tuesday nights, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. From the Starts Queens page, we do Talking Tuesdays, and we started having doctors come in. We had got next week coming up Dr. David Denayev, who was the physician to Eric Adams, the Brooklyn Borough president, who reversed his diabetes. Amazing story. And he got his mother to do it too. So,
Oh, that's
anyway.
great. Yeah, that's
Well, Kim, You shared a little secret with me about making tortillas. Tell me about this.
So I always get into a fun, food is a hobby for me, not just
Really?
a little bit. Which I should mention that I'm actually working on another cookbook, but
Wait,
we can
what?
talk about that later in the
What?
show.
What? Wait,
Well,
what?
that's my part of Healing America. I decided to do another cookbook, and I know I said I was never going to do it, but
You
this
said
one,
that to me after the last cookbook came out. I'm never doing it. I recall the conversation. I'm like, yeah, right, okay, fine.
I know.
But you said that, so you're right, okay.
I've been cooking since I was 8 years old, so I don't think I'm ever going to shut that door. But a book is a different beast.
It is. It's a
But
lot
this
of
one,
work.
I think I won't tell you what the title is. It's going to be Healing America. It's going to have a theme, and it's a theme that everybody will enjoy. There's something for everybody, and I'm kind of excited about it. It's a little bit overwhelming because there's a lot to it, but
Well,
we'll just take it a day at a time.
your cookbooks by far, in my humble opinion, they're the best. They really are.
Thank you. That means a lot because there are a lot of plant-based cookbooks out there, and there's a
I
lot of
think I
really
have them
good
all.
ones. Yeah, I
But
know. I think I.
between the spices and the cookbooks, my husband's going to call for intervention soon because for hoarding.
Uh huh. Uh huh.
Anyway,
It's fun. Well, back to the corn tortillas. I usually get into a project, and this week it's macaroni and cheese in the Instant Pot. But when I was 2 weeks ago, I was trying to figure out how to make clean tortillas because you go to the store and
ugh,
they're not clean. They
no,
have a lot of oil in them, a lot of chemicals, and I don't like to buy a lot of them. And it's one of the reasons we don't have them in our frozen line because there's just so much junk in them. So I decided I'd get some masa flour, corn flour, and try to make my own and season them with some chili powder and lime. And I got a tortilla press, and the whole process really didn't take so long.
so what does a tortilla press look like?
I got a cast iron press because it's heavy, but it looks like this.
Okay.
I got it on Amazon, and it opens up just like this. And then you put your flour or your dough in there and press it. And I usually put the dough between either parchment paper or plastic paper, and then it just peels right off. My challenge with this though was how to cook it because I didn't want it to stick to the pan and I didn't want to have to spray it with oil. So I just used a nonstick pan, and I have to tell you, it lifted right up and it bubbled, and these were so good and so fresh. So we
Well,
make a
let's
bunch of
let's
them.
uh let's watch you.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was awesome. That was
You know what?
awesome.
It truly is as easy as it looks. I
Okay,
think the
okay,
trick is
but
to
I had
make
a
a lot
question.
ahead of time. Then you're not doing it often.
Well, I had a question. So in the video, you were rolling them up. After you rolled out the dough, you sliced them, and then you rolled them into balls, and then you put them in a bag.
I
Do you
did.
freeze them that way? What's going on there?
Well, no, I just did that because if you're not going to get to it right away, you're going to stick it in the refrigerator. You don't want it to dry out. So if you just set them on the counter on a cutting board, they're going to dry out. So I just put
Oh,
them in a baggie so they stay moist because it's just flour and water. That's all it is, and your seasonings. So it does dry out pretty easily. That was the only reason.
Wow. Those
Yeah.
tortilla chips and the tacos. Wow.
Yeah, and it tastes so much better than a corn tortilla in the grocery store. I
Wow.
don't think
That
you'll ever
was,
go back now. Yeah,
that's
I
amazing.
did try it with flour tortillas, and I'm going to tell you, I'm still working on that. I didn't have as it wasn't as easy to get the flour tortilla off of the plastic or the
Uh-huh.
parchment paper, so I'm still working on that. That's for
You
another
know,
week.
Trader Joe's has the corn and wheat tortilla. So
Me
maybe
too.
a mixture of both of the
I think
two,
you're right, mixing it up a little bit. Yeah,
mixing the two flours because those corn and wheat tortillas, they don't quite cook like a corn tortilla,
right.
but they have a great, better, I think, better flavor
Yeah,
than just the plain corn ones.
and they're softer. Yeah,
They
they're
are.
fine.
They are softer.
But
Because
the question I'm going to get from people is, oh, what about is it non-GMO and organic? You can buy masa flour online that's organic. I just didn't do it because just yet because I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out. But now that I
right.
know that this press works and we love it, I'm going to go ahead and order some organic masa flour.
Nice.
Yeah. And
All
I we
right.
our film guy, his wife is from Honduras, Olivia, and she makes her own corn tortillas, but she makes them all different colors. She does spinach tortillas. She
Hmm.
uses spinach juice and carrot juice and makes all these different colored ones. So on and
Nice.
on the project goes, Jean. It's never ending.
Never ending. Well, I lived in Honduras. I lived in San Pedro Sula
Oh,
for
okay.
2 years.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
loved the food in Central and South America was amazing. Just
Uh-huh.
amazing. Absolutely
Uh,
wonderful.
yeah. Yeah. It's easy to
So
be plant-based there, right? Rice and beans and
absolutely. Absolutely.
mm-hmm.
Well, summertime. You know, getting a tomato, getting one of those big beefy tomatoes right out of the garden, taking some onions, a little bit of basil, little hummus, little Dijon mustard on the other side, and of course the Killer Dave's bread. Wow, what a perfect sandwich for the summer,
Yep.
you know?
Tomato with a little bit of basil. And, I think it's really a great time to eat locally,
Hmm.
to eat from your garden because A, it tastes better, and B,
Oh,
it's so much cheaper to eat things that are in season. So, try to really stick with those produce items that are in season. Right now, blueberries are in season, and I am
yeah.
turning into a blueberry. I ate so many blueberries the other night before I went to bed that I was getting up having to go to the bathroom in the night from all the water from the blueberries. But I love them, and and they're healthy.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I need to have ice cream or cookies or anything like that. So
Well,
berries are in season.
my favorite, bar none, two things that I love about the summer. One is watermelon.
Hmm.
There just to me is nothing more wonderful than the flavor coming out from watermelon. It's just
Right.
incredible. That and then raw corn, fresh raw corn.
Yep.
Oh my gosh! Because I used to, in the former life, would steam it and then you put a ton of butter and a ton of salt, and that's all you were tasting was the butter and the salt, and you
Right.
never really tasted the flavor of the corn.
Hmm.
And now it's like, oh my God. And people look at me like I'm insane, like I'm eating raw corn. And it's like, oh my God, it's so delicious. So
Hmm.
delicious, especially
Our
when it comes.
farmers market actually cuts it up, and you can take little pieces of it and try it raw. And I love raw corn.
Oh my God, it's amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
Amazing.
It's actually sweeter. It's a
It
little
is.
sweeter when it's cooked. I don't know why
It
that is,
is.
but
I think so too.
and right now zucchini and basil are in season too. In fact, I had so much zucchini, so I was shredding it and spiralizing it. And I have a website now called plantpurechef.com, and I put zucchini poppers on there, and I put chocolate zucchini bread. I'm trying to think.
Okay. How does
Yeah.
that work?
Actually, it's pretty healthy. If you leave the chocolate chips out, it's pretty healthy. I had it for breakfast the other morning, and I thought, oh, this is an awesome breakfast. And I'm not a sweet person for breakfast, but chocolate zucchini bread's pretty awesome. I felt like I had a brownie in my hand.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So just eat in season and buy at the farmers market and grow your vegetables. This is such a nice time of year.
I know. There's so many farmers markets. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. So
Yeah.
many. It's
Yeah.
wonderful.
It is.
Well, how about muffins? Talk to
So
me about
you know what? I
muffins.
love muffins in the freezer. I love to make up a batch because it's just the two of us. We can't eat a whole batch of muffins. Make up a
I don't
batch.
know. Nelson does a pretty good job, and when we've done some things, he's
Yeah, I know, but he shouldn't. He doesn't need to eat six muffins for breakfast. But so, a dozen muffins, I'll put them in the freezer and make them up ahead of time. And I thought, how can I do this so that it's quick and easy and it's versatile? So of course, I put my dry ingredients in a gallon baggie and label what it is. But I came up with a formula. It's called Muffins 101. It's on my website. And
okay.
it's basically 2 cups of flour, 2 teaspoons of baking soda, and then some of your dry ingredients like your raisins and cinnamon and things like that. And then all you do is you add the wet ingredients to it. And then you can add a half a cup of pureed fruit. And it comes out perfect every single time. And
Wow.
you can use oat flour and wheat flour. So now that I have this template, my daughter, she's a muffin lady. I told her, you need to use the muffin formula because her muffins come out a little different every time. So no need for a recipe.
All right. Well, I'm up here on the Cape right now.
Uh-huh.
So we're in the process of buying a home. And in 2 years, we're going to turn it into a plant-based destination vacation. So fall of 2020, book your room now. Well, not now, but coming soon. But one of my favorite places to go is in Sandwich. And it's called Dexter's Gristmill. And they take organic corn and they grind it up on the gristmill. And I think it makes a huge difference in cooking. I'll have to send you some of the
So they make
flour.
cornmeal.
They make cornmeal. They grind it right in front of you, literally. They grind it, they bag it, and they put it into these beautiful cloth bags that are just absolutely gorgeous. And so when you go down there, you can stop there at the mill and just buy it, or you can go in for the tour and they, show you all around and show you how it's done. And they tell you about the grist mill and how it worked. And it's a water wheel. So it's absolutely gorgeous in the center of Sandwich. Sandwich is very, very historical. And they're renowned for their glass, sandwich glass. It's called the Hoxie House. It's called the Hoxie House, and this house dates back approximately, they're not quite sure because there was a fire at the town hall, but between 1630 and 1640, somewhere in there, and it's like the oldest house on the Cape. So absolutely amazing. But anyway, I digress. So one of the things they gave me was a recipe, the flyer that has all these recipes that you can use to make muffins or other things with the cornmeal. So I took one of the recipes and plantized it and made it, and it's called cornmeal blueberry mini bakes.
Ooh,
So
sounds
that's
good.
on my website, and I'll put the recipe below. But
I
uh,
haven't taken that formula and used corn flour. I've used oat flour and whole wheat pastry flour and whole wheat flour, but I've never tried corn flour. So that's interesting. That
absolutely, and they're delicious. Oh my gosh, so
sounds good.
amazing.
Hmm.
So yeah, so I'll post that recipe. So that's my contribution to Muffin 101
Yeah.
is
Well, it's nice
cornmeal.
when you make muffins, you can stick them in your freezer and have them anytime. I like bread. You have bread in
Yeah.
your freezer, you have muffins in your freezer. I even
Yeah,
put,
but I couldn't have them because I'll eat them.
yeah.
I can't. My husband can do that. He can like take one out and eat one. Not me. It's like if it's in there, I'm eating it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I try to refrain and have it for a breakfast or maybe we might have it for dinner as a side or something. But you're right. It's on a cold day, it's nice to have a cup of tea and 3 muffins, right?
right.
Yeah.
So when I do make muffins, I'll eat one, and then I box them up, and then I send them to my husband to work.
That's a good idea.
And he has a refrigerator there at work, and he can parcel them out, and he
Yeah.
lets me know when he gets low. So
Yeah.
that works out. So yeah,
I think eating a lot of foods that have flours, ground up things,
yeah,
it's calorie dense and
it is.
it adds up quickly. And I think sometimes sticking with whole foods more often is better than lots of breads and muffins and pastries
Well,
like that.
bread is a food trigger for me. So I just can't have it in the house.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
So,
My weakness is bagels. Bruegger's bagels. Oh, I could eat 4 bagels, no problem. So, and then, it doesn't really fill you up. Not
no,
like it would if you had a baked potato with some
no,
beans on it and a salad. So
right.
I think it's important to kind of get away from those floury things if you're struggling with weight, which
Right.
I know you said
Absolutely.
you've been working on that.
Yeah. Well, what's your favorite recipe?
So my favorite recipe is I have spring rolls that I like to make, and I love spring rolls when they're just fresh because like basically you fill them with salads. You can put a little sauce in there. You put rice noodles in them and roll them up, and they're beautiful. People love it when you bring it for an appetizer. Well, then I discovered that if you put those spring rolls on parchment paper and put them in the oven at about 400, they bake up nice and crisp. And when you pull them out, you need to put them in your air fryer. When you take them out, it almost looks like they're fried egg rolls, but they're not. They're so good. And I put those
Oh
on the
my gosh.
website too because they're so easy to make
Oh,
and
I love spring rolls.
crispy. Yeah, put your
But I
spring
like
rolls
them
in the oven.
crispy. I like them to go, in my former day, I love the fried ones.
Yep.
Absolutely, because I love the
Well,
crunch.
right. What you can do is you can make a little stir fry, like a hot stir fry, put
Hmm.
some noodles in it or whatever, or pad thai, and then just put it in a spring roll, roll it up, and you can double the spring roll if you're afraid it's going to break, and then just put it in the oven and they crisp up really nicely. But you need to make sure you get your oven really good and hot, and I use a convection oven, so there's air in my oven, just like
Hmm.
your air fryer. And then
Love my air fryer.
yeah, and I don't know how they would work if you didn't have a convection oven. That would be a test. But that's one of my favorite recipes because it's fresh and you can bake them up and make them crunchy. How about you? What's your favorite summer
Well,
recipe?
it's not so much summer, but because sometimes I get tired of eating oatmeal. And
Tell me about it. I
yeah,
do get tired of it.
so I found when I was making the videos for Dr. McDougall, because that was like my way of saying thank you
Yeah.
for him changing my life. I mean, seriously, he did. So this is my humble way of saying thank you. And so I made a lot of the recipes from the Maximum Weight Loss book.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them was called Breakfast Apple Rice. And it's because I always have rice, always. So basically you take a rice and you chop it up, you mix it with chopped up apple, add a little bit of apple juice, a little bit of maple syrup, and some fresh lemon juice, vanilla extract, some ground cinnamon, and wow, it takes it to the next level. And when my husband and I were traveling, I made a huge big batch of this. I mean, huge. And I just put it into the cooler that we kept in the car, and then I had my Instant Pot and I heated it up. And I just added a little bit of almond milk, to thin it out so it wouldn't
Sounds
stick.
really delicious.
It is really good. So that's my, sometimes when I get tired of eating oatmeal, for breakfast,
Mm-hmm.
I'll switch to that. Especially, I like a hot breakfast. I do.
Mm-hmm.
Even in the summertime, because, well, up on the Cape here, it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I know, like, Nancy's dying over in California. It's like 110 or something like that. It's like,
It's
what?
very, very hot here
It
too.
is. Well, it's not hot here. I mean, it's cool. I mean, not to say that it can't get hot. It
Mm-hmm.
does. But generally, it's pretty cool. Like in the nights, it goes down into the 60s, and you need a little blanket to
Right.
sleep. So
Yeah.
it's beautiful. It's
Yeah.
it's absolutely gorgeous up here. So
Well,
anyway,
I don't eat a lot of oatmeal for breakfast. I used to, but I've kind of gotten away from it. I like a savory breakfast. So I take those
mm,
corn tortillas and put some refried beans on them or some guacamole and some sprouts and roll it up. I just love that for breakfast. And
now
I
you're
feel like
talking.
I've had a meal. Yeah, it's satisfying.
It is.
I
It's
enjoy
very.
it.
Yep. That'll fill you right up.
Yeah.
So let's talk Instant Pot. What do you got going on? You mentioned earlier. You gave a little teaser.
Yeah, Instant Pot. I'm really trying to figure out how to make pasta meals in it because we don't eat a lot of pasta, but I have a couple people in our family that love pasta. So I did a one pot pasta meal and I did it with, I think I used penne and I used zucchini and a jar of marinara sauce and some water. I stuck it all in the pot and brought it up to pressure for, I think it was maybe 7 or 8 minutes. I have to look at the recipe. And when it came out, it was creamy. Remember the restaurants used to have baked pasta, how creamy
Mm-hmm.
and rich it was? It was like that. It was really creamy and rich. Oh, I loved it. So then I decided I had to come up with a macaroni and cheese in the Instant Pot. How weird is that? We've had way too much macaroni and cheese this week. Nelson said, "What's for dinner last night?" I said, "Macaroni and cheese in the Instant Pot." I'm trying to figure it out. I've got to get this consistency just right. And if it's off, you got to start over again. So
Right.
Yeah, but it's fun because you just throw it all in. You don't have to saute anything. Just put it all in the pot and turn it on. So
I'm loving this. I can't wait to see the mac and cheese recipe in the Instant Pot.
if it ever comes out, I don't know. I've done it twice now, and I'm struggling with it. It doesn't come to pressure fully, and then it gets really. It doesn't get too thick, but the pasta doesn't cook all the way through. So
Oh,
I got to figure out the water ratio. That's what it's all about. I love my Instant Pot.
I know. Me
I
too.
really do.
My favorite, I have started, these are, this is a 5 pound bag. I like it. So we're going to eat a lot of it. These are cranberry beans. And I just absolutely love cranberry beans. And they kind of look, they have a texture that, is reminiscent of a cranberry. I think that's why the name, I don't know. I wasn't there when I named them.
They're pretty
But
though, Jeanne.
they
They're
are.
speckled.
They are. They're beautiful. They're gorgeous. And so what I do is I soak them overnight, and then I put them in the Instant Pot to cook with about an inch of water above how much I'm making.
Right.
And then I put them on, and I just put it on the bean, whatever the bean setting is. That's what I just cook it on. And when it's done, I'm finished cooking them, and I'll take a ladle, and I'll put a ladle with the water and some of the beans, maybe one and a half ladles in the blender.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll take my Bear spice.
Yeah.
I'm
You
in
and your
love.
Bear spice, yeah.
It's my favorite. It is absolutely, it's my secret ingredient. And so I'll take that, and then I'll add some cumin, and I'll add some onion powder, garlic powder, whatever I feel like in the moment. Yeah. And I'll put that in the blender to make like a creamy sauce. Yep. And then I'll add that back to the beans. Oh my God.
Gee, do you not have an immersion blender? Okay, you need to.
Yeah, but if you put an immersion blender, yes, I do. If you put an immersion blender, you're going to blend the whole thing.
Well, you just put it in there and just do like 3 or 4 pulses and pull it out. But you could do it that way too. But yeah, I was wondering if you didn't have.
I like having the control with the spices and mixing it all together.
That is true. And then you know exactly how much you're taking out too.
Exactly. And then I put it back in, and then it mixes in. So, but yes, I do have an immersion blender.
Just wanted to make sure. I know. I just got one like a year and a half ago, so I'm being sassy about the immersion blender because I'm learning how to use it.
They're fun, and I love it for soups and stuff in the wintertime, and it just makes it easier that you don't have to. But I'm like almost like a purist. I really like it fine, like a creaminess, to it.
Right, so. And I do that a lot. Just take half of it out and put it in the Vitamix and blend it. I do that.
Yeah.
Now, how long do you cook your beans? You said you use the bean button, but I tend to overcook my beans because I like them very, very soft. I don't like a bean that has a crunch or that's kind of firm.
These are really, really soft beans.
Are they?
Oh my gosh.
Good.
Because I know you mentioned you had issues with beans.
Yeah.
What bean?
Fruit. White beans and me, I can hardly stand myself. White beans are, for me, they produce a lot of gas, and I know for some people they can, and this is the discussion that we need to have. A lot of people switch over to the plant-based diet. Almost every time I do a class, I have to talk about this topic because when they switch over, they experience more gas, and that's part of your body's adjusting.
Right.
Your gut biome is always changing and producing different lovely smells. But that gets better, and it really does. The more you get used to something, the better it gets. And I don't eat a lot of white beans, so I guess I just need to just get more used to it. And Michael Greger has a great video on beans, and it's healthy to produce gas too because you're eating more fiber, and that's just natural and normal.
It is.
I won't talk about it anymore, but
well, but there's some tips. I mean, there's some things you can do. I mean, because one of the things when you transition to this life is, you have the bloating, you have the gas, and, issues with the stomach. So there's a couple of things that you can do. And part of the problem is the, ingestible plant fiber. Yes. They aren't broken down well in the small intestines. So they continue into the colon where it gets, fermented, turned into food for, our gut bacteria. Right. And this is going to help the good bacteria. And we're starting to learn a lot about the gut biome and how important this is.
Right.
And so even though these things are going to make you like,
Initially they will.
Initially they will. You're going to do a lot more, but hey, over the time, your body's going to adjust. So a couple of things is to slowly start adding the fiber, like
Yeah.
beans and,
Start out with
that kind of stuff.
lentils. They're a little bit less gas
Exactly. Things
producing.
like that.
Uh-huh.
Eat slow and chew your food because once you break it down,
Yeah.
you're not releasing about a lot of gas, as you're doing that. And soak your beans overnight.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's going to help break down some of the gas producing sugars in the beans.
Right.
So you can leave them overnight on your countertop and just let them sit. And that's going to help you.
Yeah, and it reduces the cook time too, so it's a win-win.
Yeah, no, no, no. And you want to avoid carbonated drinks and gum because that is adding a lot of air into your system. And if you put air in, it's got to come out.
Somewhere.
It's got to come out. It's got to
Yeah,
come out.
right.
So
Right.
also the fresh pineapple and papaya, they contain powerful digestive enzymes. The dried fruit version of this doesn't work, but the beneficial enzymes in these foods are destroyed if you eat the dried fruits. But using these fruits helps to break down so that
You
you're
know, when
not
you go to an
producing
Indian
it.
restaurant, a lot of times they have fennel seeds in a bowl, and you can kind of chew on them. They have a little bit of a licorice taste, but they're
Right?
supposed to help with digestion and that
Okay.
gas producing.
All right. Well, there's also things like, like herbal teas you can drink, like,
Mhm.
peppermint, chamomile, to help calm the stomach, when you're having
Right.
that
It's
intestinal
almost as
distress.
when people switch over, especially when they're doing jump starts and they're talking to us, it's one of the most common thing that people talk about is
Yeah.
the gas production. So I think it's just
Well, the winds do blow in the Schumacher household.
yeah, they do, and that's normal. That's normal
It
and it's
is normal.
healthy. Yeah.
It is normal. It is. So let's talk about some of our favorite products.
So I came across and you and I shop at the same stores. We both like Trader Joe's. So
Hmm.
I came across a cauliflower pizza crust that was plant based. It was vegan. And the first thing I do when I see something that's kind of intriguing is I flip it over and I go right straight to the ingredients. And the
Right.
ingredients did have oil in it. And so I posted it on Facebook because I thought it was kind of cool. And I got, oh, it has oil in it. The oil that was in it, I had to go and look at the grams, and it came up as 0 because it was even if it's under zero point 0.5 grams, they don't have to state there's any grams of fat in it. So I was thinking, worst case scenario, what if I had 0.4 grams per serving? I did the math calculations, and it was still under 5% of total calories. So I'm guessing that they were using some oil on the machine to keep it from sticking.
Hmm.
I'm not too concerned about that. And then the other thing it said contains trace amounts of dairy. And that's because if you work in a facility, if they prepare it in a facility that uses cheese or any kind of dairy products, they have to state that for allergy reasons. So there's actually no dairy in the ingredients. It's just prepared in a facility that uses dairy on their equipment.
Well, how
So
was it?
to explain,
Let's get to the real question.
it was good. It was really good. I would recommend that you bake it first, get it kind of crispy, and then top it with your marinares and your vegetables. Because I didn't do that, and it was a little bit softer than I wanted it to be. But my daughter, she put hers in the oven and got it nice and crispy. But what a great option if you're trying to get away from floury products and you
Hmm.
don't want to have gluten or you're gluten free, whatever it is. I thought it was a great option. It was small. I could eat the whole pizza myself. I just thought it was a really nice option. And I thought it was pretty clean.
Yeah. Well, for me, I couldn't eat that because of the salt. I mean, that's,
I didn't look at the salt. I didn't look at that. I don't remember what it was.
it does have salt in it. I don't remember. I'll post it down below how much salt there is. But for me, I couldn't do it because I'm just so salt sensitive. It's
Mhm,
crazy.
mhm.
So
And so
even
you have a
something like
product
that.
that you like at Trader Joe's because
I
of that.
do. I do. And it's the marinara sauce. And it says specifically no salt added. And I'm like, yay. But
Yeah,
it's the same issue that you had with the cauliflower pizza crust because they do list oil as one of the ingredients. And I'm
yeah.
like, oh, wait, wait. But yet it says, if you look at the recipe label or the ingredient label, it says no calories from fat.
Because if it's under zero point 0.5 grams, they don't have to state it. So calculate it. If it was zero point 0.4 grams, do the calculation. That's probably the best way to do it
Okay.
if you really want to get
So
into
it
the
would
math.
be a low amount of oil. So pretty
Very
low.
minimal. And
So,
you had said, and I do this too. Sometimes you kind of water it down with maybe some diced tomatoes.
hmm
That way, it's even less um,
right.
grams
Yeah.
of
No,
fat.
I love the marinara sauce there. So for me, finding one without salt is huge.
I get that
Huge.
brand, exact brand you get too. It's a little bland for me, so I have to doctor it up. I
Yeah,
usually,
so you add a little spices to it.
yeah.
Bear, you know.
Oh my. Jean just texted me last week something about Bear. Could she share the recipe with somebody? And I said, go ahead. I think that you're my biggest Bear fan.
It has become, bar none, my favorite
Yeah,
seasoning.
very unique spice. If you haven't tried it, try it. But you
Yep.
probably have also discovered that depending on where you buy it from,
It
it
changes. It's
varies,
different.
like curry. Yeah.
Yeah, very different. Well, Kim, it's been another wonderful show.
Yeah, it's been great talking with you.
As always, we always have fun. I just love doing this with you.
Yeah, I like to talk about food. Keep,
Yeah, me too.
yeah, well, cross your fingers that this cookbook gets done in a year, right?
Well, I can't wait. I can't wait because
So I'm
you
going to be
always.
sending you recipes so you can test it. So Jane's my official tester.
I'm happy to take on that role.
Yeah, love
Happy to
it.
take it on.
All
All right.
right. Well, enjoy your time at the Cape, and it was always nice getting together and talking with you.
Good talking with you. Take care.
Bye, Jean.